Hey, how's everybody doing out there? Hey, today I'm going to talk about shining shoes, how to get your these dull brown army shoes and how to make these nice and shiny. And we'll talk a little bit about, what you need to do it, and then I'll show you the technique that I use. Something we used to do a lot, in the army of the 90s and early 2000s was shine shoes. And the Army went a different direction with its footwear, which was cool because it gave everybody some time, because it did take a lot of your time, was to shine shoes or boots every single day. But it also was something about, the discipline and work ethic. And then frankly, I just kind of enjoyed it, right? It's nice to take something like this. It's not, looking too hot, and we'll put some kiwi on it and get it going. So, hey, without further ado, let me show you what I use to spit shine boots. And you don't need an expensive kit, so don't try to buy some boot shining kit. You don't need it. Hey, first thing you need is kiwi. All right, I'm using brown, so don't try to buy any fancy polish. Just standard old kiwi shoe polish is really all you need. I've tried some of that other stuff, it just really doesn't make it. Next thing you need, get a bag of cotton balls. I prefer, I suppose you could use an old t-shirt or something, but I just prefer, these cotton balls. Make sure when you buy them that they are 100% cotton. Don't get some kind of synthetic thing. Sometimes if you get them at a craft store, they're not cotton, and if you don't get the cotton ones, they're just not going to shine. Next thing you need, this one's really easy. Take a bowl, put a couple ice cubes in it. So I've got some ice cubes, and I like ice cold water, so the technique I do is I just take some ice cubes, put them in a bowl, and as we chat, they'll start to melt a little bit, and I can use the water, because you don't really need a ton of water to do this. All right, and contrary to the name of spit shining, yes, you could certainly spit on your shoes and that would work. I find that cold water works. And then lastly, you need a heat source. So for me today, I'm just going to use this heat gun. You could use a lighter if you wanted to, but the heat gun will help when you melt the kiwi on. So let's talk about step one. Step one, take the laces off. All right. If you're going to shine the shoe, shine the entire shoe. Don't just do, the toe and the heel. All right. So anyways, the goal of this stage, right? So this has no polish on it. It's exactly right out of the box. I'm opening up a can of kiwi. All right. And I'm going to take a cotton ball, and I'm just going to get the cotton ball nice and coated in the kiwi, right? And the goal of this phase is really to just get a ton of polish on the boot or on the shoe. So I got my shoe, and I'm just going to start putting it on there. All right, and I want to see it a nice coat of kiwi on the shoe so we can melt it on. All right, so in this stage of the game, I'd say more is better, and go heavy. All right, because you can't really get the shoe to shine well unless you have a nice base coat. All right, and this is where the heat gun will really come in handy. So we're going to do this process 3 times. All right. So I'm going to take a quick look, and yeah, the one problem with the cotton balls that I will concede is you'll get these little cotton ball frizzies on the shoe. It happens. Don't worry about them. Just at the end, you can pluck them off. Just don't forget to go back and pluck them off. Try to get the kiwi everywhere on the shoe. All right, so inspect it. Make sure you've got a nice even coat. We're going to repeat this a couple times, but nevertheless. Okay, now that I got the kiwi on, I'm going to turn the heat gun on. Okay, so I got the heat gun out. We're going to melt this kiwi in. Keep the heat gun moving. When you see the kiwi start to melt, then you know it's time to kind of nice and slow. Just want that kiwi to melt in. Okay, so now we did that. I'm going to repeat this 3 more times. And why I want to do that is I really, really, really want to put a lot of kiwi on the shoe. All right, so same thing. I'm going to put it on there. Yes, the kiwi's still a little hot, that's okay. Now I can feel the kiwi really starting to go on better. Easier to coat it. You know, that first coat, that leather's thirsty for some kiwi. So get it all over nice and thick. Like I said, you should be able to see the kiwi, right? Like, you don't necessarily want chunks of kiwi on there, so you want it to kind of be smooth and even, but you want it to be pretty heavy, right? Because that's what we're really trying to do right now, is put a nice healthy coat of kiwi on this thing. All right, so got that on there. I'm gonna burn another coat on. Here I go. Heat gun's nice and hot now, so melting a lot faster. And just like before, just make sure you kind of get it nice and hot, and you'll see the kiwi start to melt, and that's when you want to kind of move on, right? Okay, so I'm noticing, you know, as I burn it on, that I didn't do a good job of getting it down there. So just as you're you know, looking at it, just kind of assess as you go, and I'm going to make sure I hit that spot now on my last coat. Nothing stops you from burning more on. I mean, that's certainly fine. I just find 3 coats is enough to really get it where you need it. So like I said, if you want to put more, go ahead. I don't think it's going to hurt anything. But yeah, it's certainly up to you. I think 3 is enough to get a base coat and to really be able to shine it from there. Thankfully, my friends, these are my friend's shoes, and they're a little, obviously she's got some pretty small feet, so this is a lot easier than if I had my size 12s, but hey, no problem. Alright, time to burn the last coat on. So that's 3 coats of kiwi, and here we go. Okay, now time to get a clean cotton ball. Alright, and now here's where that ice comes in handy. So I'm going to take my ice cubes, and I'm going to dip my finger in there. So I'm just going to put, like, maybe you can just see, right, like 2 or 3 drops of water. Don't need a lot. And this is where it's time to start buffing. So from here, all right, I'm just going to start buffing. Nice circle motion. All right, that cold water, hot kiwi, really makes it shine up nicely. And I can already tell, you know, just that first application, you know, how nice this is going to shine up, right? And this is literally, you know, after, you know, 10 seconds of shining. All right, so I put a little more water on, and you're going to have to figure that out as you shine, right? So how much water do you put on? If you put too much, the cotton ball, you know, gets completely soggy, and it won't really work. Not enough, and your cotton ball is not going to really buff the kiwi out. So, you know, initially, as you're still working it, expect to put a little more kiwi on, and you know, as you do subsequent coats, then you should expect to see less. Okay, so just right off the bat, right? And that's after like 10 seconds of polishing, and you can already see it's made a big difference. All right, so I'm just going to keep repeating this around the shoe. I'm going to buff this entire coat in, and then I'm going to put a little more polish on top of it. Okay, so pretty much got this coat buffed in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cotton ball, and I'm going to go for a light dip in the kiwi, right? So you can see I just got a little bit of kiwi on there. Don't need a lot at this point. So I'm going to, before I put the kiwi on, I'm going to drop some water. All right, you can see I got a couple drops up there. Don't need much more than that. And now I'm going very light, okay? You don't need a whole lot of pressure. And I'm just holding the cotton ball between my fingers like that, so the kind of the surface is flat. And now I'm going to buff this on, and this is where you start to really get, you know, the nice mirrored finish. And just watch the kiwi as you shine it. So you'll see, where you still need to buff it in a little. And this is the process that you can repeat this, as many times as you want. And each time it's just going to get a little bit shinier. So this is where a little bit of patience comes in. And just keep your eyes, on your shoes and watch your progress. And you decide for yourself, how shiny you want to get it. But, you do this about, 2 or 3 more times. Then overnight, if you really want to go, just let the shoes rest overnight and then come back the next day and repeat it after the kiwis had a chance to really harden up, and you'll see much better results. So same thing, I'm going to go to the heels, put a little more kiwi on. Don't need to change the cotton balls out that frequently. So you can, one cotton ball will go a long way. Okay, and I'm just buffing it on, right? Little circles. If I feel like I need more water, I can. But really, what's going to tell me if I need more water is how the cotton ball feels. Is it moving smoothly across the shoe, or does it feel like it's scratching? All right, if it feels like I'm scratching it versus polishing it, then I'm going to add a little more water. All right, and then also, how does the kiwi look, right? So as I do these circles, I should start to see it, start to get a nice little shine right there. All right, and that's what I'm looking for. And I'm going to repeat this, a couple more times, because I, obviously don't want my friends' shoes to be anything less than, perfectly shined. So I'm going to go the extra mile and do this like 3 or 4 more times. But already right here, I can tell this would be probably more than enough for, most uniform, inspections or events where you want to look really professional and have nice shine shoes. Okay, so probably about 10 minutes has elapsed, and I've just been adding, a little bit of kiwi as I go, buffing that kiwi into the shoe and kind of watching as the swirls start to disappear and a nice glassy coat, starts to form. And this is really, it doesn't take that long. For your first coat, I'd say you're probably looking at, just give yourself a good hour. But basically what's going to happen is after you got this nice base coat on, if, let's say I was to wear my shoes and they get a little scuffed up, which, is going to happen, of course, here's what you do is you just burn one more coat of kiwi on, kind of burn all the scuff marks out, and then repeat this process. So you don't need to burn on 3 coats next time you do this, because you've already got a lot of kiwi on there. So a couple other tips that I was just thinking about, the light in the room matters. So make sure you have good light so you can really inspect the shoe and kind of see if you're missing a spot, or you haven't quite buffed it all in yet. So pick a good room to do it. You can lay out a towel. Sometimes that's not a bad idea. Kiwi's messy. If you do happen to drop, a chunk of kiwi somewhere, it could stain, your rug or whatever. Clothes, obviously shoe polish is dirty, so just consider that when you're getting all this stuff ready to go. But I think we're just about done here with the initial coat. So let's kind of take a look at where. So this is the one where we started from. All right, and now here's where we're at. Okay, and that took probably about 20 minutes. So all around, not too bad. I think we just gotta, like I said, before we wear them, obviously we're gonna pull out all the cotton balls that's sort of stuck to the shoe, and then before you say wait 24 hours and just put one more little coat on it, and that'll just make this thing really look like glass. But as you can see, shining a shoe is not really that hard. You don't need an expensive kit to do it, and it really doesn't take that much time. So you could probably shine shine your shoes to maintain them in probably less than 30 minutes. So anyways, hope you all got something out of the video. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. Good luck, and hope you get your shoes looking nice and shiny. Thanks.